When it comes to her brothers, Princess Charlotte enjoys calling the shots, even if it means telling one of them to bow. From cracking jokes to acting as a role model, here's why Charlotte's relationship with George and Louis is extra special. Princess Charlotte is a younger sibling to Prince George and an older sibling to Prince Louis. While this role is probably tricky to navigate at times, her sisterly instincts towards both of her brothers, especially Louis, are pretty on point. Charlotte has been protective of Louis since her parents first brought him home from the hospital. For Charlotte's 3rd birthday, the Prince and Princess of Wales shared an image on Instagram of Charlotte kissing her baby brother's forehead. An insider told Us Weekly that Charlotte was very protective of her new baby brother, a trait she picked up from George. The insider claimed a similar connection is growing between Charlotte and Louis. Charlotte's protective side was on full display when paparazzi were taking photos of her family leaving the church after Louis's christening ceremony. As cameras snapped, 3-year-old Charlotte turned to the photographers and told them they weren't coming, while giving them some serious side-eye. 5 years later, at King Charles III's coronation ceremony, it was clear that Charlotte was still as protective of her little brother as ever. She entered the abbey holding onto Louis's hand tightly as they followed behind their parents. Later that year, at her mother's annual Christmas carol service, Charlotte kept a close eye on her brother and didn't even flinch when he blew out her candle without her consent. They might be royal children, but Princess Charlotte and her brothers engage in all the usual shenanigans kids do. While Prince William spoke to Apple Fitness Plus for its Time to Walk series, he opened up a bit about his kids and what their morning routine looks like. As it turns out, it's not that different from other kids. The prince wasn't shy to admit that his house is a hive of activity in the mornings, with Princess Charlotte and Prince George usually having a fight over the music they want to play.
At times my children drive me insane and no sleep, but I love them dearly.
One thing George and Charlotte can agree on, however, is their mutual love for the Shakira song Waka Waka. While Prince Louis is apparently not making much of a fuss about the music choice, it's probably because he's too busy keeping an eye on Charlotte and assessing her every move. William said, Charlotte particularly is running around the kitchen in her dresses and ballet stuff and everything. She goes completely crazy with Louis following her around trying to do the same thing. Clearly, Louis adores his older sister and looks up to her. Princess Charlotte may not be the oldest child, but she's got all those tricky royal protocols down to a T. She's often seen reminding her brothers what they're supposed to be doing during royal events and keeps them in check when their behaviour gets a little too erratic. A source close to Princess Catherine and Prince William told People magazine, Louis is a cheeky monkey, a typical 3rd child. When he gets too cheeky, however, Charlotte reminds him to behave. While she and her brothers were volunteering during the big help out, one of the volunteers, Anne Edwards, spotted Charlotte keeping a close eye on her younger brother. Edwards told People she was advising him, "Don't do that, Louis," things like that. In another adorable brother-sister moment during Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee celebrations, Charlotte could be seen gently telling Louis to end his enthusiastic waving from the carriage as they drove through the streets. Charlotte has extended the same courtesy to Prince George on a few occasions. While they were making an appearance on the palace balcony during the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, Charlotte nudged her brother to bring his attention to his posture, and he quickly straightened up. During the Queen's funeral proceedings, Charlotte could be seen telling her brother to bow as the Queen's coffin passed them. Moments later, the prince could be seen lowering his head in respect.
I think when you look at the Cambridge children, they have had so much change in the last couple of weeks.
It's customary for members of the royal family to send out a holiday card featuring a picture of their family every year, and the 2023 holiday season saw a stunning black and white shot of Prince William and Princess Catherine with their 3 children. The family of 5 was sporting happy grins, which may have had something to do with the shenanigans Princess Charlotte and her brothers got into during the shoot. The photographer, Josh Shinner, took to Instagram to share his experience photographing the royals, and he had nothing but good things to say. Shinner revealed that Princess Charlotte and her brothers were a real treat and had him in stitches a couple of times, writing in the post, "Without doubt one of the most relaxed and enjoyable sittings I've ever had, and I now have a whole new set of jokes that are right on my level thanks to the children." When someone asked about the funniest joke the young royals told him, Shinner responded, "Keeping those to myself, I'm afraid." The thing that makes Princess Charlotte's relationship with her brothers extra special is their shared experience of what it's like to grow up within the royal family. No other children their age quite know what that's like, and it can probably get pretty lonely sometimes. Luckily, Charlotte and Prince George have each other's backs. A royal insider told People they are close in age and they spend so much time together. Playdates with outsiders can be tricky, so they learn to lean on each other. Like most siblings, they can have their differences. However, they still enjoy having each other around, especially at school. Given that they have the shared experience of growing up in the spotlight, it makes sense that the 2 siblings want to stick together by attending the same school. According to the insider who spoke to People, Charlotte could barely wait to join George at his big school. When the day finally arrived for Charlotte, the young royal was notably nervous and shy, while George was the picture of confidence. Luckily for Charlotte, she had him to show her the lay of the land on her first day. Royal experts say that Princess Charlotte and Prince George are incredibly close, and some of the interactions between the two siblings in public have appeared to confirm that. An insider told Us Weekly, Charlotte is just like George. They have a great bond. A lot of Charlotte's toys are hand-me-downs from George, although she's definitely a girly girl. She also loves to play outside, just like George.
Very, very lucky that George's got a little sister.
Vanity Fair's royal editor Katie Nicholl told the Royal Beat that the close bond between George and Charlotte might be a big factor when Prince William and Princess Catherine decide whether or not to send George to Eton, an all-boys boarding school. Nicholl said, if he goes to Eton, obviously she will have to go somewhere else. Nicholl added that since the siblings have started their education, their mother has done her best to keep them in a co-ed school because that's the education experience she had as a kid. Nicholl said, it will be a massive decision and it will be a big thing if he goes to Eton. It appears that George will be attending Eton after all, and word is that Catherine is pretty upset about it, so perhaps Charlotte is upset about it too. Princess Charlotte might be the middle child, but she's the one who calls the shots. These are not just rumours. They were confirmed by Charlotte's great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II.
I think she's very fond of Charlotte.
While signing a Bible for the winner of a school's religious educational project, the Queen made some small talk and revealed that Charlotte is often the one taking care of Prince George. An insider told Us Weekly that Charlotte is quite the little leader, and you'll often find her chasing George around the palace gardens, not the other way around. The source said they're both very active children. They still like a bit of rough and tumble. She's not afraid of a grazed knee, and it's most certainly not going to stop her from running around the corridors. Even though Charlotte likes to call the shots, body language expert Judy James says that she doesn't notice any kind of power struggle between Charlotte and her two brothers. In fact, it appears that George is actually happy to let her take the lead, something he likely learned from his dad. James told The Express, when they appear together, it is often Charlotte taking the initiative in terms of walking ahead. George is never seen either moving to protect, copy, or correct her, which adds to the suggestion that he sees her as an equal. When Prince George becomes king one day, he'll need his siblings' support. That said, if royal biographer Christopher Anderson is to be believed, Princess Catherine and Prince William are trying to raise their kids in a way that will ensure George's siblings support him when the time comes. Apparently, they are focused on ensuring Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis don't feel like they are living in their brother's shadow. Anderson told Us Weekly, George has all this pressure. He has these two siblings who can help him, who can ease some of the pressure and share some of the burden. Anderson added that, unlike Prince Harry and Prince William, Princess Charlotte and her brothers are growing up in a happy home, which is doing wonders for the siblings' relationship. He told Us Weekly, their relationship is much healthier than it normally would be in the royal family. While speaking to The Royal Beat, Katie Nicholl said there are already signs that Charlotte is very supportive of her brother when it comes to royal duties. She told the outlet, you rarely see George on official engagements without the support of his little sister. They are clearly very tight, and Charlotte is the ultimate support act in a way that Princess Anne has always been for Charles. Hopefully, Charlotte's relationship with her brothers will continue to flourish years from now when George inherits the throne.